If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers. Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
Welcome back to another Real Talk movie review, and this one is for Marvel's Infinity War Avengers Part 1.
Yes. So, this is going to be full of spoilers. There's going to be nothing that's not
Spoilers.
Everything's going to be spoiled. Do not watch this if you haven't seen the movie, because we're not going to start it off. It's immediately going to be spoilers. Spoilers. Everything's going to be spoiled.
Talking about it all, man.
So, we're going to do a little bit different. We love this movie so much, so there's a lot we wanted to kind of talk about. All of our perspective. Feel free to comment below if you disagree or if you agree, or if there's anything we've specifically said that really stood out to you. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and your takeaways from the movie, because we absolutely loved it. We went and saw it twice,
man.
And I could actually see the third time and be completely like entertained the entire time.
I'm definitely hooked on this movie. I mean, Thanos was a great villain, big part of this movie that really makes you love it even more.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Love it, man.
So we're going to have a couple different topics we're going to go through. RJ is going to do his mastery of editing, and hopefully it all comes together really nice for y'all. And definitely comment below, let us know about your overall feedback in reference to our review too.
Absolutely.
But we'll check with you here shortly.
Yep.
Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about, just to get it out of the way, it's very small, there's not a lot to say, but things that didn't really register for me, or things I didn't really like about the movie. The one thing I thought, not so much that I didn't like, but I thought it was pointed out by another YouTuber in reference to who got the first kill, like who was the first death.
Oh, yeah.
And they pointed out that, like, why did it have to be a black guy? And I thought to myself, I was like, that's so true. You think that Marvel would have thought more about that?
Yeah.
In reference to that? Yeah.
Or
so like,
or whatever.
Yeah. So like, I thought that was a very good point. And like, now the more I think about it, the more it annoys me. So just like.
But technically, if you think about it, he wasn't the first one killed, because they killed all those other people on the ship.
But that doesn't count. Like, as far as like facial reaction, like somebody you recognize. So I thought it was a very good point, and I was like, ooh, it irks me a little bit. So that was one thing. The other thing that actually like really drove me crazy during the movie, and I liked it initially, was the whole Hulk not coming out thing. Yeah,
I didn't really like that, but I understand it.
The reason why I didn't like it, I liked it in the story. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great conflict. I liked seeing the like half of his face come out, the other half not. I think that's they made it very comic bookish. So I liked all of that. But I saw the trailer a million times in this movie, and they did have Hulk running with them in Wakanda. So like the entire movie, I am waiting for them to work it out. And like, I know he's going to come out at some point, and I was waiting for that all the way through the movie, especially at the end, and I felt like that was a little bit cheap for them to tease that in there and then not follow through. So I was a little bit disappointed with that.
Well, but hopefully they're gearing up for a lot of Hulk in part 2.
The other thing is, if they need to make sure that it's addressed, because there was no real conversation besides him saying no, and like we're assuming it's because maybe Thanos beat him up really bad. But that, to me, still, like, I need words. I need an explanation as to why he wouldn't come out.
I mean, I think that ultimately is going to be the reason why he just really shook, man. He just never been beat before or hit like that before, so that's probably what they're going to do.
But I hope they do that. I hope they do address it, that it makes sense, and then ultimately, yes, I need Hulk back in
he gonna have to boss up, because they're gonna need everybody.
He needs to get his up and comings too. Like, he needs a round 2, because he got handled.
He got handled for real. You didn't get to see him come out and really like.
And I was anticipating it so much, only because I saw him in the trailer. So I was completely 100% sure we were gonna see him at some point. So that was not cool.
That part, and then maybe if I had to, but I know it had to be with the story, was be Star-Lord, him waking Thanos back up and not letting him pull off the thing. That's probably the only him I hate for that right there. But
that's more so just hating him because of
because of what he did. But other than that, that's pretty much I think we agree on the Hulk is the only disappointing thing that was in there. Other than that, this movie to me was
amazing.
I mean, it was
we're gonna talk more about that here, but I just want to get that out of the way briefly. it wasn't a long chat, but that was the things that I took away that frustrated me a little bit as far as the movie goes. I would love to hear what some of your frustrations were.
Yeah.
Comment below, let us know what those are.
Yep.
Okay, so the next part I really want to talk about was how the movie actually started. I thought it was really cool that it picked up right from where Ragnarok picked up. I know there was other people that had that were upset because we didn't get to see the actual fight. It just picks up after Thanos already took them all out. But me personally, I didn't need to see that. That would be just another space shooting war thing. I love the way that it came on immediately, and I didn't even know that was Thor the first time I watched it until like he pulled him all the way back over and the camera really caught him. And I was like, who's this person he's holding? I did not put that together at all. I thought the introduction to Thanos was boss as hell.
Yeah, it was boss fuck.
It was incredible.
The
and even,
voice, man, it was boss. Yeah.
And I thought Loki, in that scene too, really stood out. He had a really great
his emotions
scene.
came out, and I think he actually dead for real. And Thanos even said right there, ain't no resurrections here.
Right, and
so,
I thought that was so great too.
Thanos
threw it up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too much into Thanos, just in reference to that one line. I like throughout the movie how Thanos knows so much more than they thought he knew of them, you know? So even that comment note, he knew that had happened before, you know? So I thought that was great too. But yeah, so the introduction to Thanos, taking out Loki right in front of Thor, I thought that was epic. He gave no Fs, completely just crushed his throat in. And then even the fight with Hulk, Hulk was giving him the business.
Yeah,
I was like,
giving him the business.
And me having not read the comic books and only knowing that Thanos is a badass, I think they did such a great job in that just first 15 minutes establishing how badass and how serious you have to take this guy.
Absolutely, man.
Because after he completely demoralized Hulk and beat him down, I was like, I feel nervous. I feel nervous. So I thought that I really loved the way it came on. I think they did an excellent job just within that first 15 minutes.
I'm in love with that introduction right there with his speeches and his voice. When he took off the suit, man, he's just this is what I'm gonna wear for the rest of the movie right here. Just
which I thought was also crazy too.
Boss, he's getting it.
Yeah, I loved it.
His squad is on point too though. His Black Order, they on point too. So yeah, that whole introduction was a great set off for the movie to be
set the tone.
Yeah, this is what's gonna go.
We're not effing around.
Yeah.
You need to take Thanos seriously, straight up.
Yeah, this ain't no lame bad guy, right? This is the real deal.
There's no build up, and he's not gonna tease you with killing people. He will legit take people out.
If you let him, he will take people out. Right. So yeah, that intro, great.
Yes, absolutely. Great. Okay, so I want to go a little bit more in depth about my takeaways in reference to Thanos and the things I liked, and I thought that we were done very well. One thing again, I didn't read the comic books. I've never even heard of Thanos before the movies, and this is my first real introduction to him completely. So I had a lot of expectations as far as what it was going to be, just because I've heard all the hype. So I think this movie delivered. I was not disappointed at all in reference, and I was so impressed with the onions, the layers in Thanos. You made somebody that you could really feel the emotions for.
Yeah, you are attached to him.
Yeah, you completely invested in this character that you're gonna hate. He's like a Negan, so
he has his purpose. He has his own mean purpose to do what he wants to do.
And it's not, he doesn't think it's mean though. He genuinely
honestly believes
he's doing the right thing. Completely. And that's why he won't let anybody stop him either. And he really feels like he doesn't think he's doing anything vindictive, anything bad. He's saving everybody. Basically is what he really feels. So I thought they did really great with that. I also thought they did a really good job of showing this humanity in him in reference to Gamora specifically.
That he can cry.
That whole thing, I was so amazed by you have this strong F you, I'll take anybody out, but then peel his little his insides are showing, and he has a soft spot for Gamora, which. That's another thing I want to talk about, but that whole setup too, I didn't know that's what they were going to do. But this really,
the Soul Stone.
This really felt like a Thanos movie.
It definitely was a Thanos movie.
It was definitely his story, where he's coming from. I do have to say, based on the things I had heard before seeing the movie, anything in reference to Thanos specifically, I was a little bit surprised as to what his reasoning was, why he wants to take out half the population, that it's a balancing act for the universe. Because everything that I had heard up until now was that he's he's got an obsession with death. That girl. So
that's what we thought the movie was gonna go with, but they didn't. They didn't
go that. So like, I was really surprised that didn't even come up once in reference to his reasoning. Like, it's completely about this balancing act for the universe.
And I'm glad they didn't do it, because then it would have just played into the everybody that already knew the story from the comic book.
True.
So I'm glad that they went a different route a little bit and made it more. This one makes more sense. He's just not a psychotic, because at that point he would have just been a psychotic, crazy person,
just killing
and he wouldn't have had to have any feelings. Yeah, if he was just doing it for Lady Death. But since he had his own reason, and he's doing it, and he sacrificed his own daughter too. Yeah. So yeah, that gave him a whole lot more to work with than just like, I'm on a crazy mission for somebody.
Right. It gave him. I thought it completely worked. I was completely impressed with like Josh Brolin's acting. I thought he owned that character.
Accent, yeah, man.
Man, I just loved.
It was legit.
I love Thanos so much. I hate him, but I love him. Like, great villain.
The Mad Titan is for real, man. I love the way he was just bossing it, man. Just everybody. He you know, with Tony, everybody. He came.
But he's also charming and like super smart and like has this like whole era of like confidence and everything. I was just like,
and why does he know so much? Which is another layer right there that they're gonna have to explore either in part 2 or later on. Because he talked to Tony. He was like, hey, I know who you are. I know some things too.
Right.
Why you know that? Like, how do you know that? Who you been talking to? Yeah, I know we know he has some dealings with Loki. So maybe it could have been like something, but I don't know.
But I thought that was great throughout the story with his introduction. Like, he definitely knew knew who he was coming up against.
Yeah, it's those little things.
I also think the one thing I didn't see in this movie that I think I would have seen, it doesn't take anything away from me. I would have been interested because, you know, all of his his team, they have like powers and stuff.
The Blackwater?
Yeah, like the main dude that could like.
Oh, Corvus Clay or whatever.
Like he was a fucking great
Squidward.
villain. He was a great villain too. Though. Like, that guy was crazy.
Oh yeah, he was getting it.
But
I would
have been interested to see what Thanos's like powers are without the gauntlet. Like, we didn't get to see that. Like, what is Thanos without the gauntlet? Like, he's still a badass. Yep. Like, based on everything I heard, but like, we didn't get to see that at all. So I'm interested to see if maybe like in this next movie they're gonna like take it off, and he's like, yeah, you got the gauntlet, but I'm still a badass without the gauntlet. Right. I think that would be interesting to see.
Yeah, because you're right. They didn't show if he can do anything other than
all he did was use the gauntlet.
Force and the gauntlet.
Yeah, so like it would be interesting. I'm interested in seeing that. I'm wondering if they were holding that back, so that's gonna be something that plays out in the next movie too.
Yeah, because I know on his Wikipedia thing, if you look up Thanos, he got some like natural powers. But yeah, they didn't explore none of that in this movie, which they didn't really have to either. Because
they didn't. It totally worked. I'm just intrigued and interested to know if that's something that they're gonna.
Well, that'd be interesting. That will make a good scene in the movie. Once they take the gauntlet, now you gotta fight by yourself. They think he can't do nothing.
And he can't. I think that would be amazing.
Still whoop that ass.
But overall, I absolutely love Thanos' character. I think they did a great job.
Best villain.
Delivering a villain that was like worthy of like these 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. The 10 years in the making, this all led to this, and it was worth it to me personally.
Completely.
It was 100% a really good payoff, man.
Absolutely.
Really good payoff.
Loved Thanos. Yep. Loved him. A big surprise for me again in this movie was a lot of like the emotions and like the storytelling. I thought they did a great job with the storytelling, specifically in reference to Thanos and Gamora. I thought that was done beautifully. Yeah. Going back, starting off with having the flashback when Gamora was a little girl, and you see this like this Titan, this big guy who's basically taking out half of her planet. Her mom most likely included in that batch, but he has like this, for some reason, seeing her fighting against the guards like hits like the soft part in his heart. And like that whole scene with him balancing the knife while he like takes out her family is just like so effing
and like
crazy.
Look over here. Don't
look over here. I had to watch that a couple times too because I didn't realize the first time I saw the movie they were allowing the people to pick the sides they went on. So ultimately, based on your choice, it's like you pick the wrong side, which I thought was like so fucked up. And
they're trying to tell you should be honored to die for Thanos, which is already just insane.
Yeah.
Already.
So I love the flashback, and I have to say, I thought Gamora, the little girl that played little Gamora, was excellent too. Just like visually, like it totally worked for me. Like I thought it was perfect casting, and the makeup was awesome.
They didn't give us a lot of the Gamora history with that because. You would think for him to be crying. I mean, yeah, he got her from a little kid to, you know, when she grew up. So I guess where emotion came in from. But I guess if it was like his actual daughter, then that would have made more sense for him.
I don't think so. I think it's more that he really respected her because she's, I mean, and that's something we didn't really get to see a lot of, but she's supposed to be this amazing fighter, and he's proud of her. Like, he's proud to call her.
Which is what they showed in the, like, when she thought she got him.
Yeah,
with the reality thing.
And so, like, I think it's more of a respect thing. It's the daughter he always wished he had, which is really shitty for Nebula. But, like, this is, like, he claims her as his, like, daughter. This is my daughter.
He loved Nebula, but not really.
Not at all.
Not
like,
really. She can go and he'd be okay.
He would have been, that's why the Soul Stone wasn't meant for Gamora. Okay, now going to that part in reference to, the part where he goes to get the Reality Stone was awesome. That was epic as well. That whole, like,
Red Skull. Who'd have thought that's what they was going to finally bring him back to?
The Reality Stone first part, like, where she takes him out.
Oh, when she went to the, that planet with the Collector.
Yeah. So, I thought...
The Collector dead, though.
I totally thought that the Reality Stone was in the knife he gave her. Like, I swore up and down when I first saw the movie.
Yeah, that was a little throw off because I was almost with you too because it had that red.
So like I was like, why did they show it like that? And then even when she stabbed him and like they zoomed in on the red too, I was like, oh my god, it's because it is it, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Now that scene was bad as hell when she jumped up in there, pop, 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 boom.
Yeah.
He grabbed the knife, broke the sword, boom. She jabbed it right up in his neck.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
And then the emotion she has, like she's so mad at herself for crying too. You can see it. It's like I hate that I have any type of like emotions for you. I just want to hate you, but like I thought that was very raw. Had her really exposed to. And then going to I can't remember the planet where the Soul Stone is.
Something like that, yeah. But that planet was beautiful when they got there.
Yeah.
That mean the cinematography in this movie was just gorgeous off the chain too. Yeah. So they did a good job on that. And then that's when they seen Red Skull over there protecting the Soul Stone. And then that was emotional when they got to the top.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it like immediately.
Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen. Because who else you got with you right there?
The fact that Gamora was so confident and she didn't see it coming, man. And I have to say one thing visually, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but I thought it was so great. And like I saw it again, especially the second time. It totally mirrored when they're first at her planet and the guard's pulling her through the crowd and she's like slapping it because he's so much bigger than she is, but she's a little kid. Yeah. And now the same thing when Thanos is grabbing her and it's like the same exact scene and like pulling her over like the cliff. I was like, oh man. Yeah. That was a good, I don't know if that was meant on purpose, but it totally like touched me. I was like, that's fucked up.
That is messed up.
And I mean, his emotions again, you could feel it, like he didn't want to do it, but he was going to sacrifice whatever he had to for his end game. I like the fact that he said that he already turned his back against his mission or what have you once before, and I think that's with his own planet. He didn't put his foot down and tell them like, no, this is what we have to do, and ultimately his planet did go to like a demise. So he was like, there's no way.
They called him psychotic too. Yeah. So I mean, I get what he was coming from, but they was gonna all die. So yeah, but that's a
extreme.
Woof. Yeah.
But I really did like the whole storytelling with Gamora and Thanos. I was very surprised by it, and I thought that it just worked. I loved it so much.
And I think that's what really brought the difference between any other bad guy that we had yet in Marvel against Thanos. It's like this guy got some layers, man.
Yeah, he's like three-dimensional. He's not just what you see on the surface. There's so much going on beyond that.
And I do not believe they're going to kill him in part 2. They're going to probably definitely just get rid of him or lock him up somewhere or send him out into space. But he ain't dying because he will be back at some point. Okay, let's talk about the fight scenes, how they split everybody up. First of all, I got to give it up to the Russo brothers for even just juggling this whole thing with everybody. But it made sense the way they split everybody up because you just couldn't have everybody in the same scene all the time doing the thing, right? Now I know you said you had a little problem with everybody not fighting Thanos at one time, but
I'm totally over that. That's why I didn't even bring that up.
Okay, well, good then, because I think it still worked out the way it did, because just the way he was going around, the universe getting to where you got to get to. So when you got Iron Man on his planet Titan, you got Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Nebula, and Mantis,
and Drax,
and Star-Lord.
Yes.
Right? You got the whole crew up there. Getting it in, that fight scene was off the chain when they throwing spider webs in Thanos' eye, and Tony is just getting it with all his fancy gear. And before we get to, let me say Tony Stark is bringing it with the technology.
Yes,
he got the same thing Black Panther got now with the nano thing. Just getting
the first scene where Iron Man faces off with the what are they called? The Black Order? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the Black Order in New York.
And he comes out with a
boom, 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 boom.
I was like, what is that? Yeah. That's new.
Getting it, man.
That was great. So, all of his upgrades were amazing. Even the upgrades he did for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man's on Titan with him too. I don't know if you said that.
That iron suit with the claws, with the spider claws.
Shut up. When he pulled that out, I was like, what just happened in my life? I was so excited. Like, that was amazing.
Now, that fight scene is where this movie could have ended at and Thanos would have been defeated. They almost had the gauntlet off his arm when, Mantis was on the top holding his hand.
Which was such a genius plan. Can we just say that plan? Star-Lord's plan completely was, amazing. Like,
It was a great plan, and man, that visual too with Thanos was just like, in agony and the pain. I think that was just great. Facial expressions and makeup, everything on there. Now they almost had it off. Then Star-Lord, of course, found out that Gamora got killed, and then he lost his mind. They almost did. Now they could have chopped his arm off right there, or they could have chopped his head off right there. But that's not what the Avengers do. They not out for just murdering people. So I thought that fight scene was
it was awesome. Great. Going to see the movie a second time, I didn't even see when Doctor Strange was throwing the discs out so they could run on top of them. I was like, oh my god, I didn't see that.
That was a good assist.
And Doctor Strange, come on, was a complete badass this movie. When
you gotta get an MVP to Doctor Strange.
Like, that was amazing. Yeah. That was such a great visual and had all the strings attacking him. I was like, oh. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that yet. But
if we thought Doctor Strange was just okay from his movie, you got to admit now Doctor Strange has leveled up and he showed you I am one of the forces to be reckoned with, if not the force to be reckoned with all my spells and wish knots.
Yes, absolutely. It was amazing.
Yeah, him and Tony definitely showed out in this movie right here. That fight scene was great. The other fight scene back in actually even the one with Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Which, that was frustrating too. Not a bad takeaway because it made sense because Vision got stabbed. But Vision was not Vision this movie.
He was no power.
There was no
And I think, like you said, which I couldn't remember either, but when one of the Black Orders first stabbed him with that spear,
the tongue when he got stabbed.
Yeah, I think that's what actually took him down. So he the whole movie he couldn't have no more.
Because it happened immediately. Yeah, it happened immediately.
Yeah. I think that's just that first one. I guess he.
And I think they knew that's what
that sector or whatever would do. Yeah. So. And it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
Now that is the same time that we finally seen Captain America. When he finally stepped out to help them. Now, I don't know about you guys in your theater, but
it was amazing. Everybody erupted.
Everybody was clapping.
It was one of my favorite movie-going experiences for sure.
So that was really good. So then the other fight scene that was awesome was, of course, the one in Wakanda with everybody.
Right.
Everybody in Wakanda getting it in. I love when Black Panther and Captain America was running.
Yeah, the onset of the fight. Yeah, that was great. I was just like, I had goosebumps. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes too is when Bucky picks up Rocket and is like
putting him around.
And then obviously when freaking Thor shows up, I was just so excited. I just want to die. I wanted to just die. It was one of the most epic show ups ever.
He come back with the Stormbreaker, which the handle is made out of Groot. Yeah, which is great, man.
I mean, I love that scene too when Groot finally drops his Game Boy or whatever, gets up and helps him out.
Which, by the way, he was playing the Defenders.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's the game he was playing. So it could be a little, since we couldn't put the Defenders from Netflix in here, we just put I don't know.
That's interesting.
But okay, there you go right there. But Thor threw it at Thanos. He could have threw it at his head. Or
my one thing is why did nobody think about cutting his arm off?
Yes.
Can we
That's
do
what
that
I don't
first?
understand.
Yeah. I feel but
I get it though. He put it in his chest.
It was the height of the moment. You
just threw
him out.
Yeah.
Why would you think anything could happen after that? A little axe is in his chest. You think you'd be straight?
It was formed from a dying star. So of course it should be it's a Thanos killer, basically. Okay, and speaking of that, but I don't know if we're gonna get into that later. But I love that he had to get the gauntlet made to harness the Infinity Stone. So that's why. Yeah, that's why he had to go see him to get the sword made, the Stormbreaker. to take out Thanos. So other than that, man, look, they had a lot of other great fight scenes. The New York one in the beginning was great, and I think that was about the only other one for. Okay, let's talk about how funny this movie was. Besides all the drama that was in there, this movie was to me hilarious.
Yeah. It was so great with the tie-overs to all the groups too, because there's a lot of like things that go over other people's head. One of my favorite hilarious parts was when Star-Lord meets Thor and he's like imitating Thor the entire. I was dying. I lost it. I thought that was excellent. I also thought it was great when they're on Titan and like Tony's trying to like get the team together, get the plan going, and like Drax is over there yawning like I'm not paying you no attention.
Am I boring you?
And like you can always see Star-Lord's like, oh my god, my team needs to get their shit together. Like this is a little bit embarrassing, but I thought that was great. And Drax was hilarious in this movie.
Yeah, Drax was hilarious when he was trying to say
that he was invisible.
Totally invisible, but standing really still, eating really slow.
I'm very confident in that. And I just love him and Mantis's like whole relationship too. They're like best friends. I think they're just adorable. I think it's so cute.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Tony Stark always hilarious from the beginning to the end. He always has some great lines.
Yeah.
In this one, especially in the beginning in the park when Hulk couldn't come out. He's like, "Come on, man,
You're
come
embarrassing
on!"
Me.
In front of the wizard.
Yeah.
And he kept calling Doctor Strange
that
the
was
wizard.
great with the wizard.
It was hilarious all day.
That was awesome.
Then when Spider-Man got on the ship. When he met Doctor Strange, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Doctor Strange."
Oh yeah, he's like, "Oh, we're not using our names.
We're using our made-up names."
Okay,
that was funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of funny scenes up in there with Tony and just especially with Thor and
Thor and like
off the chain.
Was killing it. I thought Thor was like stood out in this movie so much too. Not only because he's like. And just like fucking taking the power of a whole star through him. Like, come on now.
Just to make that. And then the cameo of Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones as a giant midget is crazy.
Who cares? So, you know what? Whoever came up with that idea in like the story was like lost their mind.
Yeah,
like, this is who
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
When Scarlet Witch finally came down to help.
Oh my god, that was one of my favorite parts.
I forgot her name in the movie, but she's from The Walking Dead. You know, Michonne.
Yeah.
Michonne was like, "You been up there the whole time?
Why she been up there
the whole time?
Like you coming out and killing it."
That was hilarious, man.
I thought that was.
So the balance of funny and drama and action was perfectly balanced in this movie. So I'm gonna give an A+ to that.
Absolutely.
So the emotion in this movie.
Yeah, well, I want to talk specifically about the tear jerkers, the stuff that like, in complete contrast to like the humor in it. I thought there was a couple big scenes that like really stood out to me. I thought Thor's first scene when he's talking to Rocket and like he's like
about everybody
it's like so depressing.
It is depressing.
And like my heart like went out for him, and then he tries to like even the way he tries to put himself back together, like, oh, it's okay, it's gonna fuel me, so I'm gonna do really. I thought he stood out so much in this movie. I thought he had some really great scenes.
That was pretty sad for
that was definitely a lot of even when he sees Loki die, like you could feel it, even though he can't talk and he's got that metal all over his face, like you can just feel him emoting like all these feelings. So I thought he did a really great job. I completely lost it when Spider-Man like left and he disappeared. That was like I could not. That killed me. That killed me. Like I felt my heart. Yeah, that was really sad. I thought they did a great job again with Gamora's breakdown when she thought that she killed Thanos. I thought that was very heartfelt. Yeah. Even when she's having the conversation with Star-Lord and like, I need you to promise me, like, you'll take me out. And like, when he's in that situation, he was totally gonna take her out, but Thanos had the reality stone. But I thought all of that was really heartfelt.
With the bubbles.
Freaking, Scarlet and Vision when she has to take him out.
Yeah, that was sad.
My heart, I was like, and she was like, you could just feel it. And I thought that was great too, as far as like mirroring two similar storylines with Star-Lord and Gamora and Vision, and even with tying it in with Gamora and Thanos, like he had to sacrifice somebody he loved, you know, and she's got to sacrifice. She had to sacrifice somebody she loved. So a lot of emotions, man. A lot of pulling emotions. I thought again they did such a great job with balancing, not keeping it completely light, but not completely dark, which Marvel does so very well.
Yeah, man, they did very good in this one to keep you on that roller coaster with the shock factor, the sad factor, the humor, the action. It was just a great bowl of goodness that they hooked up. I'm telling you. I mean, and I almost thought it was impossible to do. I thought it was either going to be too much this way or too much that way.
Sure.
There's so many people in the movie, and they did a great job.
Yes.
So.
Alright, so I want to talk about briefly about how the movie ends, that shock factor, and then some of our thoughts as far as where we think it could potentially go, things that we've heard, things that like really resonated with us. I thought it was crazy as far as having the first Marvel movie ever in which the heroes completely and 100% lose. The thing that's like burned in my memory is when Star-Lord's like on Titan and he turns to Tony's like, no, before that, when he's like, did we just lose? And this is before, like, it even, like, we know what's happening. Yeah. Like, you don't even know the impact of how badly you lost, though. Yeah. Like, what is actually about to transpire. And even when I saw the movie the second time and he says that line, I'm just like, it's about to happen. Like, I know it's about to happen, but, like, I don't want it to happen. And, like, when he snapped his fingers and you see Thor and Thor's like, what did you do? Like, and he's like, just gets out of there. Like, just gets out of there. And people start fading. I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. Like, what is happening?
He just went on ahead and, like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That flashback to nothingness when he didn't have the glove on and everything. First, I was a little confused when that happened. But then I was like, oh, okay, it's just like something in his mind. And then Gamora come out and be like, did you do it? And he like,
what was the sacrifice? Or what did it cost?
Yeah, what did it cost?
What did it
Everything.
cost? Yeah.
And so, then it started happening.
And they do it so, like, clearly, I didn't, just the visual of seeing them, it's not all instantaneous, you have to watch them literally disappear, was, like, heart-wrenching. Freaking wrenching.
I mean, they took out some people, too. They left the original OGs, but they took out everybody else that was pretty much new to the thing, and man.
Yeah, they took everybody out. Yeah. And then I thought Jalen, at the end of the movie, like, we were going to do, like, a quick, what's that app called?
The Stardust.
Stardust. Yeah. So, like, Jalen's first thing, so we're all going to go around and just say how much we liked it. Yep. Jalen's first words out of his mouth was, like, the heroes lose. Yeah. And, like, that's why he, like, walked away with it.
Yeah, that's why we didn't do it. Yeah. We did 2 takes and it got messed up.
And he was just like, there's no way. No, but, like, that's what he's left with because that's effing crazy. Yeah. Like, they went there. They literally went there.
They went there.
Yeah, so I thought it was so incredible.
It was epic, man. Yeah. And then what else I liked is that it really was emotional and surreal when at the very end, when there's no music and Captain America and everybody's just sitting there breathing.
Like, they can't even, like, figure it out.
What just happened? Fade black. Done.
The movie's over. That's it.
Music. And we sitting there like, that's how we going off?
Like,
that's how it's going to end? Like that? Yeah. That's how it's going to end like that.
Yeah.
And so, man. So then, it sucked.
Oh
but
my
they
God.
did lose.
I just have to say, I don't know if this is true, and you guys can comment below, but I saw this meme right before we got on that somebody had tweeted, because they were desperately trying to figure out what the translation is for when Groot said, Groot at the end of the movie. Yeah. And supposedly, I don't know if this is true, please comment, let me know, but like, supposedly what the translation was, Dad to Rocket. Like, that's what he said before he disappeared. And I was like about to bawl my eyes out.
You can make up anything for that.
Well, that's what they're saying, though. But I thought it was really great. I thought it was like, can you pull out my heart anymore? Like, and just stomp on it.
Yeah, because like, Groot did get got to.
Yeah, so, yeah. I don't think that was just incredibly emotional. But as far as where it goes from here, if the pre-snap, post-snap makes a difference, so like the people who die pre-snap, does that mean they necessarily can't come back? Which I don't think that makes sense if you have a freaking time stone. You can go back, you can like
you can rewind the whole thing. Yeah.
So ultimately we
know there is going to be a penalty or stipulation that if you just go back all the way and change time, like it's going to have to be
something's going to have to happen. Yeah. I mean, we've already seen the screenshots that Ant-Man's in the fight for New York. So something happens in which they definitely change something. Yeah.
And Doctor Strange is going to be definitely a vital key to part 2 because he's seen all 14
Right, which I thought that was great writing too. And when he looks over at Tony, it was like, there's no other way.
There's no other way. He had to give him the stone.
So he had to, like, he knew this is the one way in which we win. Mind you, things could still go wrong.
Yep.
But the one way in which we win is one, I save you. I save you, yeah. And I have to give him the stone.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like, what does that mean though?
Yeah.
How is it going to play out? So
it's going to be a lot to I can't even really, because there's so many different scenarios. If you want to throw in there for part 2, the secret invasion, if you want to throw in there that we know Captain Marvel coming through, but I really think Captain Marvel is going to do 2 things. 1, she's going to have the might enough to fight Thanos is what we're going to need. And 2, she's probably going to have some more knowledge about
where to go back in time,
the stone, or where to go back in time, because she is half Kree, so she gonna have some kind of knowledge to help them out with that. That's what I think Captain Marvel is gonna do moving forward on that. But why they go back in time to the Battle of New York? I don't know what that's about.
I don't know what that is either.
I mean, that's when Loki first come with the Tesseract. So there
has to be something there, though. There's something obviously happens, which weird. I don't know how to predict that, but also I'm interested in thinking, I think that Captain America or Tony, one of them is going to have to like sacrifice themselves. Like something's going to happen with them, because they left those, I mean, obviously Thor as well, but they left those behind for a reason.
Yep, the OGs.
And the fact that Doctor Strange couldn't let Tony die, he must play some vital role in this. And I feel like because they didn't necessarily kill anybody off, because potentially everybody could potentially come back, I think that something has to happen in the next movie too. I do have to say though, this movie was overall a darker movie as far as a Marvel movie goes, and I think that there is a balancing act that they do so well in this in the MCU, that I think the next movie is going to be much more like empowering and like feel goodish. Like they're gonna be working
for it.
Something's gonna happen. I do think that we're gonna have that part in which it's like, but it's gonna be from a good place. Like I'm sacrificing from a good place. Like it's a positive thing. It's not that I'm getting taken out. You know, like it's gonna be something that's like heartwarming.
And if they do have to sacrifice, the only thing in my head that we know that you got to sacrifice for is a Soul Stone. So if you just want to get rid of that one stone from the gauntlet and somebody sacrifice, okay. But then they would have to come up with a rest of the story. What about the other stones? How are we going?
Yeah.
Because we know the only sacrifice thing that you can do right now is for the Soul Stone. Soul for soul.
I mean, you have to.
You have to.
Right.
So if you want to bring Gamora back, maybe Captain America can sacrifice himself to bring Gamora back and take away the Soul Stone from Thanos' glove. But then you still got 5 other stones left that you got to contend with to deal with. So that's why it's kind of hard to even predict what you think gonna happen. What I do know is that when Captain Marvel come over there, she gonna be punching some motherfucking Thanoses real hard.
I mean, I'm so like excited. I'm glad we're gonna get this Captain Marvel movie, because they need to bring it. Like I need to see why she's such a badass. And why she's gonna be like one of the pieces in the puzzle to be like the saving grace. Because I don't know her character at all either. Like I'm not familiar with it. So like, but the hype again is very real. So I need to see that delivered on the screen.
Which was the post-credit scene with Nick Fury and I keep forgetting the agent's name, but yeah, they both got wiped away. But he did send that distress signal out to Captain Marvel with that old ass beeper that they got. So because I guess her technology is still not technology, but just because she's from the old school. Yeah. So other than that, man, it's gonna be really, really hard to have theories.
It's going to be really hard to wait a whole effing year.
It's a brain buster.
Like, it's going to be this is going to be a long wait. And, like, it's almost frustrating because we know the movie's done. Like, they've already, I'm like, just put it out. Like, let's just
And then the question, what you going to do with Ant-Man and the Wasp when they come up? Is it just going to be like an intermission?
They might explore that, like, the world they go in, that might have a time. That might be where all the Avengers are that disappeared. I mean, I don't know if that's how it's going to be played out, but that was a theory I heard.
Like where her mom was the whole
where
time?
they end up going down there, like, maybe that's the other dimension or whatever everybody went to. I don't know if that's true, but I heard that. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But again, overall, absolutely love this movie. I can't say enough good things.
I can't wait till it comes on DVD.
I can't wait to watch it again. Like, oh my gosh, funny story. So the other day we're sitting in here and RJ's like, I just need to hear his voice. So he like pulls up like an old like streaming video just so you can hear the Thanos voice at the beginning. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was so great.
It was worth it, man. It was worth it. That 10 years was worth it. The Russo brothers did a great job. Once again, smashed it. So now the wait for part 2, and I think part 2 is gonna bring out just as much excitement as part 1 did, because now, yeah, you left the mystery so crazy. And after we see Captain Marvel, I'm guaranteed Captain Marvel gonna probably leave off with that cliffhanger to make sure you remember.
I feel
part 2 about to come out right after
the only thing we're gonna get to see is like her getting the. I don't know. I feel like they're not going to show too much, but I feel like it's going to have an end credit where she receives the like beeper.
Yeah, she gets the message
just like,
end of the movie.
And that's all we get.
Yeah.
Which, whatever.
But it's going to increase the hypeness. Yeah, it's going to increase the hypeness yet again for part 2, which is probably going to knock it out the park once again. And then where do we go after part 2 of Infinity War?
Let's not even go there. Like, let's just get to part 2.
Yeah. I'm not a rewatcher of movies, but this one I definitely seen the second time, and man, if you didn't see it more than once, you did miss some stuff, because we did miss some stuff.
Like, you didn't do it justice.
Yeah, you did not do it justice. So
go ahead and see it again.
For real.
When we saw the movie in theater, one of the trailers that came on before the movie came on was Jurassic World, and we took Jay with us.
Yeah.
So like we're sitting there, you know, the Jurassic World trailer came on, and like as soon as the trailer ends, it's completely silent in the theater. Jay goes, "Well, I'm not seeing that." And like the theater like busted out laughing. So like that was a lot of fun. It was just a great movie going experience. Like I can't
Everybody had a good time. Everybody was interactive into it, man. I loved it.
It was awesome.
That's what makes the best movie going experience right there, especially when you spend all that money in IMAX, man. You want it to be awesome, and Marvel made it awesome, man.
No complaints whatsoever.
None.
So again, we would love to hear your overall thoughts.
Let us know.
What were your opinions are, or what were your highlights? What were your takeaways? What are some of your predictions? What were some things that irked you, and what were your favorites? Like, definitely let us know. I would love to hear that and check it out.
Yeah, I definitely want to hear what irked you guys, because I mean, me personally, I can't find a whole lot.
Nope, and I probably will disagree if you have a lot to be irked with.
Yeah, that's true. So look, well, thank you guys again for watching another Real Talk movie review for Marvel's Infinity War, the Avengers Part 1. Until next time, people, peace.
Well, I liked when they were fighting. I like when the Hulk did turn into the Hulk. That was funny, because Hulk usually comes out. Iron Man has some cool gadgets than he usually did. He usually had, and then I liked Spider-Man. Spider-Man was good for me. But my favorite was Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, just crazy. He has all these cool gadgets. But then, like gems of the gem got to go away from him, so that's bad. And then Vision, he was kind of weak in this one. He's usually better, but today, or in Infinity War, he was weak. Yeah, he was weak. Black Panther. He was crazy. He was crazy. He was crazy. He was crazy. So crazy that I can't even think about it. He was like slice, and he was like slice, and he was also like boom boom boom, boom boom boom. Yeah, that was just wow. And then Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians and the Guardian in America, Captain America. Captain America was crazy. He was like yeah. And then Thor. He was crazy. Thunderstorms. He had his hair like oh my god. That was my favorite part. Thor. That's it. That's it.
John 5 in the air, let's go! I got the VIP locked down, cause I'm the hardest dude in the club right now. She got the VIP locked down, cause she the baddest chick in the club right now.
I got the VIP locked down, cause I'm the baddest chick in the club right now. He got the VIP locked down, cause he the hottest dude in the club right now.
Look, I'm on the guest list, walking past